My stepsister fed my autistic son raw chicken to see what would happen, then laughed when he vomited. I stayed silent until her baby shower, where I gifted her a photo album of every dangerous thing she ever did around children, backed by timestamps. I'm Rachel, 35, female, and for the first time in months, I'm not shaking when I say this out loud. My stepsister is a danger to children, and I finally made her feel it. But back then, I just froze. The first time it happened, I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I didn't even grab my son and storm out the way I should have. I stood there, mouth open, trying to understand how a human being could be so casually cruel. Her name's Claire, 32, female. My dad married her mom when we were teenagers. We were never close. Claire's the type who calls herself brutally honest, but is really just mean. You know the kind. She hides behind fake sweetness that turns bitter fast. The kind of girl who'd laugh when your hair gets caught in your braces and then ask why you're crying. Claire's always been like that, but people excused it. She's just blunt. She doesn't mean it. She had a hard childhood. Whatever. Meanwhile, I was the quiet one, the one who followed rules, the one who disappeared when Claire entered the room. It became a pattern. Claire would hurt, I'd retreat, and the adults would shrug. We're adults now. I'm married, raising my 6-year-old son, Eli. He's autistic, nonverbal, sensitive to textures, incredibly sweet, and wildly observant. He's also obsessed with kitchen timers and sorting things by color. If you've ever seen someone line up toy cars by shade and whisper quietly to themselves, that's my boy. I've fought tooth and nail to protect him from a world that wasn't built for kids like him. Claire has always acted off with him. Too loud, too rough, too dismissive. Like she thinks autism is a personality quirk, not a neurological reality. Once she made a joke at a family BBQ about how Eli just needs to get laid someday, that'll fix him right up. I told her never to talk about my son like that again, and she pouted like I'd kicked her dog. Then came the chicken incident. 2 months ago, we were visiting my dad and Claire was there with her new boyfriend, some gym bro with vape breath and a baby on the way. She was bragging about how natural she is with kids. Meanwhile, I was in the kitchen prepping snacks for Eli, who needs food cut a certain way and cooked thoroughly because of his sensory issues. I had left raw chicken thawing on the counter. I was less than 5 feet away. I turned around for maybe 30 seconds to grab the cutting board, and when I turned back, Claire had taken a piece of raw chicken, cut a chunk off with her glittery acrylic nails, and handed it to Eli like it was candy. He ate it before I could scream. The look on her face when I lunged for him? Pure smugness. I just wanted to see what would happen, she said, grinning. He eats so robotically. I was curious if he'd even notice. He noticed. 15 minutes later, he was vomiting violently in my dad's bathroom while Claire laughed from the living room. Guess he's not that robotic, huh? I didn't slap her. I didn't even cuss her out. I should have. But I froze. My entire body just locked. Because I realized in that moment, Claire didn't just lack empathy. She enjoyed this. And I knew I had to wait. Not for justice. For leverage. I didn't sleep that night. After Eli finally stopped throwing up and curled into my lap, I sat on the edge of the guest bed, staring at the carpet in that dull beige room my dad still called Claire's old space. The air reeked of bleach and raw chicken. Every few minutes I'd check on Eli's breathing just to feel my heart steady again. Meanwhile, Claire was downstairs laughing over mimosas with her boyfriend, like she hadn't just turned my son into a science experiment. Like it was all some fun little prank on the weird kid. And my dad? He said nothing. The man who used to coach my middle school softball team and told me he'd always protect his girls, just sipped his whiskey and muttered, "It was probably just a misunderstanding." A misunderstanding. I wanted to scream, "He could have died." I wanted to throw every parenting book at them and force them to read the damn section on foodborne illnesses and neurodivergent processing. Instead, I packed our bags at 3 a.m., whispered to my husband over text, and left before the sun rose. But I didn't block Claire. I didn't go no contact. I did the hardest thing I've ever done. I played nice. Because Claire was pregnant, and the world was about to let her become someone's mother. See, Claire is the type who barely glances when kids cry. I've seen her yank her niece's arm because she was taking too long to walk. I've seen her leave a candle burning unattended at a baby shower because she forgot it was real. She once laughed when a toddler fell off a swing and said, "Well, that's Darwin." And now she was having a baby girl, a tiny, helpless newborn. My stomach turned every time I thought about it. So, I started documenting every interaction, every weird comment, every moment she left her chihuahua locked in a hot car for just a few minutes, every Instagram post where she joked about needing a night out from the fetus, every time she double-fisted drinks before realizing she was late on her period. Claire overshared everything on social media. She thought it made her relatable. Unfiltered mom content, she called it. But to me, it was evidence. I created a folder on my computer titled, "For Her Daughter." I filled it with screenshots, timestamps, saved videos, and notes. And then I waited for her baby shower, because Claire, being the attention-starved narcissist she is, planned it herself. It wasn't a cozy backyard thing. No, it was a full-blown Instagrammable event at a rented venue with flower walls and a mommy-to-be throne, and a hashtag Wanshra Princess in progress. She invited over 40 people. And yes, I RSVP'd, yes. When I walked in, everyone smiled politely. Claire ran up, fake-kissed both my cheeks and squealed, "You actually came!" After everything, I wasn't sure. I smiled right back. Oh, I wouldn't miss this for the world. I handed her my gift, a large pastel pink photo album wrapped with a satin bow. She giggled and placed it beside the others without even looking. I waited. Let her open the teddy bears and gift cards first. Let her bask in the praise. Then, right before cake, she got to my album. She unwrapped it slowly, like it was something sacred, opened to the first page, and her smile died. Because on page 1 was a screenshot of a text she sent her friend 2 months into pregnancy. Still vaping. Whatever, the baby will be chill-af. Below it, I'd printed the CDC's warning about vaping while pregnant, taped beside it, the timestamp and username. Her hands trembled. She flipped the page. A photo of her letting her friend's toddler balance on a countertop alone, captioned, "Survival of the fittest LOL." The next page, her dog, chewing on a positive pregnancy test next to a half-empty wine glass. The next, a time-stamped security cam, still of her letting a child wander into the street while she took selfies in the yard. Gasps started around the room. Claire's face went pale, and I said nothing. Not yet. Let them see. Let them all see. Claire slammed the album shut so fast, the echo bounced off the baby shower decorations like a slap in the face. The room froze. You know that collective inhale people do when something's so awkward it makes your skin crawl? Multiply that by 40. Her best friend Mandy, the one who always looks like she's auditioning to be the drunk aunt in a Hallmark movie, spilled her champagne. Someone's toddler started crying. Claire looked up at me. Her face caught somewhere between fury and fear. "What is this?" I didn't flinch. "I figured if you're going to raise a child, you should see yourself clearly first." She blinked. That's all. Just blinked. Like her brain couldn't compute that someone had just challenged her in public. Then she stood up. "You think this is funny? You come here, to my baby shower, and try to humiliate me? Over what? That chicken thing? Get over it, Rachel." He was fine. And there it was. She said it out loud, in front of everyone. That chicken thing. My blood went cold. I took a slow breath and looked around the room. "Do you all know what she's talking about?" I said, my voice even but loud enough to carry. Claire fed my autistic son raw chicken to see what would happen. Then she laughed when he got sick. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Claire's boyfriend, the baby's father, shifted in his seat. His name's Jared. He's younger than her, maybe 25, still in that smug, energy drink phase of his life. He'd always treated Claire's chaos like a party trick. I saw something shift in his eyes then. Like maybe, just maybe, he'd finally realized the party ends when there's a baby involved. Claire's hands were shaking now, but she tried to keep her voice steady. "Rachel's always been dramatic. She's just jealous. She's bitter because I'm starting a family and I have a family," I snapped. "One that I built with love and protection. You're starting a brand, a photo op, and you're not even good at hiding the damage." Claire went pale. For once, she was speechless. Her mom, my stepmom, tried to intervene, standing between us like a substitute teacher during a hallway fight. "Girls, can we maybe talk about this in private?" But it was too late. The room had turned. Phones were out. Guests were whispering. One woman was straight up filming. I walked over to the gift table, grabbed the album, and set it down in front of Jared. "I suggest you read that before you sign any birth certificates." He stared at it like it was a live grenade. Then, quietly, "Claire, is any of this real?" She exploded. "What the hell, Jared? You're going to believe her over me? This is my shower, my day. She's trying to destroy it because she's a bitter, stuck-up—" "I have receipts," I cut in. That shut her up, because she knew I did. Every message, every video, every careless moment she documented for likes or brushed off as just being edgy. It was all in that album, backed up to 3 drives, cloud-synced, and, if needed, ready to be forwarded to Child Protective Services. I didn't need to yell. I just turned, picked up Eli's favorite snack bag from my purse. He was home with my husband, safe and unaware, and walked out. Behind me, I heard Jared say, "Jesus Christ, Claire," and then glass breaking. Because of course Claire doesn't lose quietly. 3 days after the baby shower, Claire showed up at my house, unannounced. It was 8:43 a.m. I know because Eli was just settling into his color sorting routine, and I was pouring my second cup of coffee when I heard the banging on the door. Not knocking, banging. The kind of knock that makes your dog bark and your stomach drop. I looked through the peephole. Of course it was her. Hair a mess, no makeup, holding her phone in one hand like it was a loaded weapon and a half-empty Starbucks in the other. She was already mid-rant before I even opened the door. Do you want to ruin my life? I stepped outside and shut the door behind me. No way was I letting her near Eli. You did that all by yourself, I said calmly. She scoffed, pacing in my driveway like a reality show villain. You don't get it? People are canceling me. Jared's not talking to me. His mom called me reckless. My doula dropped me. I crossed my arms. Good. Then maybe your child will have a chance. That's when she got in my face. You're not a saint, Rachel. You think you're better than everyone because your kid is autistic and you pretend that makes you special. But guess what? You're just a stuck-up bitch who got lucky her kid didn't choke on that chicken. I saw red. I didn't hit her. I didn't scream. I stepped closer, nose to nose, and said, "Say one more word about my son. I dare you." She didn't, because for once in her life she saw I wasn't bluffing. She tried a different tactic then, voice softening, tears forming. You don't understand what it's like to be judged by everyone, to have people pick apart every little thing you do when you're just trying your best. I blinked. Claire, you filmed yourself drinking wine at 7 weeks pregnant and posted it with the caption, "Whatever happens, happens. You're not being judged. You're being documented." She crumbled then, sinking onto the steps like a broken doll, crying, mascara already halfway down her face even though I doubt she was even wearing any. "I didn't mean to be a bad person," she whispered, and for the tiniest second, I felt something twist in my chest. Pity, sadness, that flicker of old history where, once upon a time, we were just two girls forced to be sisters. But it passed, because I remembered Eli's face as he clung to the toilet, his tiny hands gripping the bowl, confused and hurting. "You didn't mean to?" I said. "Claire, you never mean to. That's the problem. You float through life hurting people and then cry when someone finally looks you in the eye and says, 'Enough.'" She looked up at me, eyes cold now. "What do you want from me?" I smiled, slow and sharp. "Oh, nothing. I already got what I wanted. You're exposed. You'll never be able to pretend again." That's when she lost it, knocked over a flower pot on the porch, screamed so loud the neighbor came out to check, called me every name in the book. "You think people won't forget? That this'll haunt me forever? Please. I'll bounce back. I always do." I just tilted my head. "Good luck with that. I already submitted the album to Jared's lawyer and CPS." She froze. "You didn't." "I did." And then I turned and walked inside. She stood on my porch screaming for a full minute before storming off, tires screeching down the street. But the silence after? It felt like peace. Update 1. Okay. Wow. First of all, I didn't expect that kind of response. When I posted this, I was still running on cold rage and sleep deprivation. I thought maybe a few people would validate that I wasn't insane for going scorched earth on a baby shower. Instead, my inbox exploded. People sending messages like, "You're the petty queen we needed," "CPS MVP," and my personal favorite, "She thought she was the main character and you handed her the script." Y'all had me laughing through actual tears. Thank you. But let's get into it. Yes, I really gave Claire's boyfriend's lawyer the photo album. People asked how that happened. It wasn't some master plan. Jared texted me the night of the shower, which shocked the hell out of me, asking if I could send him a copy of the thing with the screenshots. He looked wrecked, and I think reality finally broke through the Claire-colored glasses. I didn't give him the entire thing, but I sent a condensed version, 15 pages of the worst offenses, in order, each with timestamps and context. It wasn't just the raw chicken incident. It was footage of her leaving a friend's toddler alone in a store aisle. It was her drunk at a baby sprinkle, dropping a glass vase next to a crawling infant. It was quotes, actual, typed-out quotes, where she called kids parasitic life drains. Jared took one look and apparently lawyered up. Now here's the kicker. Claire doesn't know she's being evaluated for custody yet. Jared's building a case to get full custody the moment that baby is born. His lawyer advised keeping quiet until the hospital forms are in play. So Claire's still floating around thinking her drama is just a PR crisis, and that it'll blow over once she posts some Pinterest nursery pics and a fake apology video. She even made an Instagram story 2 days ago with this gem. "People love to judge moms before they're even moms. God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. Girl, God didn't hand you salmonella. You did that yourself. As for CPS, they haven't contacted me yet, but I submitted the evidence through their official portal. I was specific. I'm not trying to get her punished just for being immature. I listed clear safety hazards, including animal neglect, erratic behavior, and documented harm to vulnerable children. I'm not out for blood. I just want that baby safe." Some of y'all messaged me asking if I regret ruining her life. Let me be crystal clear. Claire laughed when my non-verbal son vomited. She thought it was funny. She humiliated me for years, mocked my parenting, treated children like props. And now she's about to become the kind of mother who thinks matching onesies are more important than locked cleaning cabinets. I didn't ruin her life. I just made it harder for her to ruin someone else's. Anyway, I'll post more soon. Things are unraveling faster than I thought. There's been a break-in. Yeah, that's next. 2 days after the update, my backyard gate was wide open. At first, I thought it was the wind. It happens sometimes, especially in spring when the storms roll through. But this wasn't that. The latch wasn't just unhooked. It was cut, like someone had taken a pair of garden shears to the metal clasp. Then I saw the footprints. We'd had rain the night before and there were clear tracks leading from the gate to the side window. Mud, size 7, maybe 8, small, familiar. My stomach dropped. I checked the window. There were smudges, handprints, like someone had pressed their face to the glass. I went numb. I checked Eli's room next. Safe. He was still asleep, snoring softly, surrounded by his rainbow stacks of toy cars. I touched his forehead and backed out, heart pounding. Then I checked our security cam footage. And there she was, Claire, in her pajamas, no shoes, soaking wet, standing in my backyard at 2:13 a.m., like something out of a goddamn horror movie. For 13 full minutes, she just stood there. Then she walked to the window, looked in, and whispered something I couldn't hear. Then she vanished. No knocking, no yelling, just stared at us like a ghost looking at the life she lost. I didn't even call the police. I couldn't. Not yet. Because I knew what this was. Claire wasn't trying to scare me. She was unraveling. See, after Jared's lawyer got involved, Claire started spiraling online, posting manic rants on Facebook about toxic women trying to destroy motherhood, subtweeting about me being jealous of her glow, and even tagging Eli in one post. My child. A 6-year-old who doesn't even have social media. That's when I blocked her on everything. Apparently, that didn't sit well. The next morning, I got a voicemail from her mom, my stepmom. First time I'd heard from her since the baby shower. She sounded frazzled. Rachel, honey, Claire's having a hard time. She's pregnant and hormonal and feeling really attacked. Can you maybe take the post down? I didn't even reply. Just saved the voicemail in my folder of receipts. But Claire wasn't done. That same afternoon, Jared showed up at my doorstep. Not a call, not a text, just a knock and that haunted, tired look on his face. His eyes were red. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. I need to ask you something, he said. Did Claire ever do anything violent? I froze. Why? He pulled out his phone, opened his photo app, handed it to me. It was a picture of a butcher knife stuck in the drywall next to their bedroom door, and below it, scratched into the paint with what looked like a car key. I am not the bad guy. I felt the room tilt. She came home drunk, he said, voice cracking. Said I betrayed her, that I ruined her life by feeding the enemy. I tried to leave. She blocked the door, said she'd throw herself down the stairs if I did, and she's 8 months pregnant. I told him he needed to leave. Not tomorrow. Tonight. He nodded. Said he was already staying with his sister, and then he said something that chilled me to the core. She talks to the baby, tells her not to trust women like you. Claire isn't just unstable. She's fixated. On me, on Eli, on this fantasy that she's the victim in a story where she's the monster. So now I sleep with the downstairs lights on. I triple-check every lock. My husband installed motion sensor alarms, and I carry pepper spray in my robe pocket when I go outside in the morning, because Claire is unraveling, and I'm pretty sure she's coming back. I didn't plan the second revenge. I wish I could say I orchestrated it with the same precision as the photo album bomb at the baby shower. But no, this one came from the universe. Pure karmic chaos, wrapped in a bow of digital receipts and dumb choices. And honestly, it was better than anything I could have dreamed up. Let me explain. So after the backyard stunt, I was on high alert. We filed a police report, not because I thought they'd do anything, but to have it on record. I sent the footage to Jared's lawyer too. Between that, the voicemail, and the knife incident, they were filing for an emergency restraining order and prepping to request full custody the second the baby was born. Claire didn't know that yet. She was still spiraling publicly, trying to control the narrative. Her Instagram turned into this weird shrine to victimhood. Vague quotes about betrayal, close-ups of her pregnant belly with captions like, "Mommy will protect you from the fake ones." And my personal favorite, "Some people will poison your joy and call it justice." Then she made the mistake that detonated everything. She went live. On Facebook. It started off semi-normal, her sitting on her patio, big sunglasses cradling her belly, sipping some kind of pastel drink and pretending it was water. But then she started talking about me, about how family betrayal is the deepest kind, and how some women don't deserve to be mothers. Then she looked straight into the camera and said, "Honestly, I wish something would happen to that weird little robot kid. Maybe then Rachel would understand what it feels like to suffer." She said that. About my son, Liv, on the internet. People screen recorded it within seconds. It got posted to a local parenting group, then to Reddit, then Twitter. The comment section exploded. Even people who had been giving her the benefit of the doubt turned. The just hormonal crowd disappeared overnight. CPS saw it too. So did Jared's lawyer. And then, her job called. I didn't even know she was still working. She was doing part-time content creation for a mommy brand. Those companies that sell overpriced organic bibs and sippy cups with cursive fonts. They dropped her within hours. Public statement. We do not condone statements of harm toward children or bullying of neurodivergent individuals. We have ended all affiliation with Clare. Lags. Her baby registry site pulled her profile. Her baby bump sponsorship? Gone. The next day, she posted a video sobbing on TikTok, claiming she was being bullied by cancel culture and that people were misunderstanding her dark humor. She tried to weaponize her unborn baby as a shield. I'm carrying life, and you people are trying to destroy mine. It didn't work. Someone found old clips of her laughing about locking her cousin in a closet. Someone else found a podcast interview she did where she said kids were just loud furniture until age 5. She went viral for all the wrong reasons. And here's the cherry on top. Her landlord saw the video. Turns out she was behind on rent. They gave her a 7-day notice to vacate. And guess who owns the building? Jared's cousin. Yeah, she's couch surfing now. 8 months pregnant, alone, publicly disgraced, CPS investigating. No job, no home, no access to Jared or his family. And me? I've never felt more calm. But I'm not celebrating. Not yet. Because she's still out there. Still pregnant. And still desperate. And desperate people do reckless things. Update 2. I wasn't going to write this right away, but I've had so many people message me, checking in, asking for closure, wondering if Claire finally faced consequences or if she wormed her way out again. So here it is. All of it. Claire went into labor 3 weeks early. No announcement, no hospital selfies, no welcome Princess Madison Instagram debut. Just silence. I only found out because Jared texted me the morning after with 3 words. She lost it. Turns out Claire was alone when her water broke. No friends left. No family willing to deal with her. Even her own mother was on a retreat to recharge. Translation: hiding from the chaos she created. Jared rushed to the hospital after the nurses called him, and thank God he did, because when he arrived, Claire was mid-breakdown, screaming, accusing everyone in the room of trying to steal her baby. She refused pain meds because they're trying to drug me to take her. She bit a nurse. Bitter. Drew blood. They sedated her eventually. Jared had to make the medical calls. Thank God his name was already on the paperwork as the secondary contact, something his lawyer pushed for weeks ago. The hospital flagged the incident and reported it to CPS immediately. The baby, Madison, was born healthy. Small, but strong, thank God. But Claire? They put her on a 72-hour psychiatric hold, and that's where the real twist happened. See, part of Jared's custody prep included having a private investigator dig into Claire's digital trail. Not just the obvious stuff, the live streams, the Instagram posts, the Reddit threads that were now flooding every parenting forum, but the messages, the DMs, the deleted group chats, the burner TikToks. Turns out, Claire wasn't just spiraling. She was plotting. There were screenshots, messages to a former friend where she said things like, "If I lose custody, I'll make sure Jared wishes he never met me. The baby is mine. No lawyer is taking her unless it's from my cold, dead arms. Maybe I'll show up at Rachel's house again, but next time I'll bring something stronger than words." Yeah. And then there was the voicemail she left on her doula's phone. Rambling, slurred, but terrifying. If this baby ever calls someone else mom, I'll end it. I swear to God, I'll end it. Jared's lawyer handed everything over to the judge during the emergency hearing, held while Claire was still under observation. And the ruling? Temporary sole custody to Jared. Supervised visitation only. Claire must undergo a full psychiatric evaluation before any reunification is considered. That baby is safe. She's with Jared now. His sister moved in to help while he adjusts. And I've seen pictures. Madison is beautiful, wrinkly and red and soft and so alive. Jared says she has his nose. Claire was released from the hospital 3 days ago, and now she's spiraling again. She texted me, of all people, last night from a new number. "Hope you're happy. You'll never be a real mom like I was supposed to be." I didn't respond. I just blocked her. Again. Then I walked into Eli's room, sat on the floor beside him while he arranged his red cars into perfect lines, and kissed the top of his head. He looked up at me, didn't say anything. He doesn't, not yet, but he smiled. That soft little smile that says, "I'm safe here." And in that moment, I knew. I didn't just protect him. I protected a baby girl too. It took her less than a week to try again. Claire doesn't understand what no means. She never has. Her brain translates it into maybe, or worse, challenge accepted. So when the court gave Jared full custody and CPS put her on supervised visits, she did exactly what I feared. She started rebranding. I'm not kidding. She made a new Instagram, new username, a Phoenix Mom Rising, bio, healer, truth teller, silenced but not broken, fighting for my daughter. She started posting long manic captions about being trapped in a system designed to punish powerful women, and how family courts are rigged against mothers who speak their truth. She even called CPS a tool of the patriarchy. Then she added me, tagged me, in a fucking reel. It was a video montage of old photos. Me, Eli, her, even Jared, set to sad piano music. The caption, "When betrayal comes from blood, only fire can cleanse the wound." I stared at my phone for a solid minute, not even mad at first, just stunned. You know how you feel when someone rear-ends you in traffic and you sit there thinking, did that really just happen? That was me, holding my coffee, watching a reel where she photoshopped horns onto my head. But it got worse. She started messaging Eli's school. No joke. Sent an email to the director claiming she had safety concerns about how my son was being raised and implied that neglect might be occurring in the home. Used a burner Gmail account and fake name, but she signed it a concerned relative. Luckily, the school flagged it and called me right away. I showed them the court documentation and the principal was horrified. She even said, "This is harassment." Straight up. We added a code word to Eli's pickup list. Only 2 people, me and my husband, can get him now, and we have to say the word. That's the kind of reality we're living in, because of her. But even that wasn't the final straw. No, that came last weekend. A package showed up at Jared's house. No return address. Inside, a hand-knit pink baby sweater and a USB drive. He almost threw it away. But he plugged it in, against every horror movie rule, and found one video file. It was Claire, sitting cross-legged in a candlelit room, holding the same sweater, whispering to the camera. I don't care what the courts say. I don't care what she did. That baby is mine. And no one, not Jared, not Rachel, not even God, will keep her from me. This isn't over. That video is now in the hands of his lawyer and law enforcement. They're filing to make the restraining order permanent. There's a serious chance she'll be placed under psychiatric monitoring for an extended period. Because that wasn't desperation anymore. That was delusion. That was obsession. That was Claire's final descent. And me? I'm just watching the fire she lit consume everything she thought she was entitled to. She could have been a mother. She could have healed. She could have asked for help. Instead, she chose war. And now she's losing. Badly. She showed up at the hospital. I didn't know until hours later. Jared called me from the NICU lobby, out of breath, sounding like he'd just run a mile. "She came here, Rachel." She showed up, dressed like a nurse. I sat down on the floor. Apparently, she bought a pair of scrubs from Amazon, borrowed an old ID badge from a cousin who used to work in pediatric care, and just walked in, held a clipboard, kept her head down, and slipped past security during shift change. And then she made it to the glass. The NICU has double secured doors. You can't just walk in. You need an access card and a specific ID band tied to the baby's file. Jared had both. Claire had neither. But she stood at the viewing glass, holding a stuffed animal, just staring at Madison through the glass like she was at a museum exhibit. A nurse noticed her standing there too long, approached, asked to see her badge. That's when Claire bolted, out through the stairwell, down to the street. Security caught her 2 blocks away, sobbing, mascara bleeding, the stuffed giraffe still in her hands. They didn't press charges, but they could have. And now, she's under a temporary psychiatric evaluation. Again, this time, Jared's lawyer filed for a no-contact order for both him and the baby. It's been granted. Claire can't come within 500 feet of them. Can't call, can't email, can't message through third parties, and if she violates it, she'll be detained. We finally got peace. For now. But here's what I haven't told anyone. Not even Jared. 2 days after the hospital incident, I found something on my porch. A letter. No envelope, just folded in half. Written in purple gel pen. I recognized the handwriting immediately. "Rachel, I don't hate you. I pity you. Because one day, you'll realize you built your life on fear. You'll always be looking over your shoulder, waiting for me, and you'll never be free. But I will." See, it wasn't a threat, not exactly, but it was worse. It was a promise. I showed it to my husband. We installed cameras facing the street, told the school, told CPS, told the lawyer. Everyone's on high alert now. Because Claire isn't just dangerous, she's persistent. And that's the truth no one likes to talk about. Sometimes, the people we fear aren't strangers. They're the ones who smile at baby showers. The ones who laugh at your child vomiting. The ones who say they're joking until the joke turns sharp. Sometimes they share your last name. Sometimes they share your blood. And when the world finally sees them for who they are, it doesn't feel like victory. It feels like grief. But I'll hold that grief. I'll carry it like a shield. Because Eli is safe. Madison is safe. And Claire? She's gone. For now. But I'll never stop watching the glass.